Hey guys, Jonathan here with the Blue Wizard Project, just coming at you with a bonus video here with Mega Man and Bass. So last time you guys watched me play through all of the game with Mega Man, and got through a fair bit of it with him in the last video, finishing up the game. I went through like the last bosses and all that stuff. But you guys heard me say repeatedly through that whole playthrough of Mega Man and Bass with Mega Man that the game was really made more for Bass. Bass, as some of you know, was kind of a side character, like bad guy that they added in Mega Man 7. That I think they kind of saw as the like next stage of Mega Man. But as we know, after this game, the main series Mega Man went on hiatus for a long time until Mega Man 9, which I don't believe has any references to Bass. It's been a while since I played it. And instead the series went with Mega Man X, which was, in my opinion, and I think most people's opinion, a far superior game. So here's some things we're going to see with Bass. Number one, double jumps. Huge advantage in this game. There's so many jumps in this game that are so frustrating with Mega Man because you can barely make them, or they're barely able to be made without jumping at just the right second. So Bass fixes a lot of that. Plus you can get hit and still do your second jump. So if you're like gonna fall off a cliff, you can save yourself. The next thing is, and I believe I've already done this, I wasn't really paying attention, he can shoot diagonally. So here you can see he can shoot diagonally up. I believe he can shoot diagonally down as well if you're standing on the edge of a cliff. I don't remember if there's a way to make it so that you're not inching forward, but regardless, huge time saver, especially you're going to see once I get to the second boss fight of this video. And then later on in the video, I haven't seen it just yet, but we can see Bass's like dash move. Now, I know for a lot of you this is kind of boring. You guys have already seen me do all this stuff. I actually did 2 videos of me playing as Bass, just so you guys could see the second set of attacks and stuff that he has, but I might not even post that one. The only thing you guys really miss in that one, and I might just put it after the credits, is a clip of some of Bass's like power-ups is the word I'm looking for. So I mentioned this before, much like in Mega Man 6, he can fuse with his dog, which for him is like a wolf, which is kind of weird because they reused that wolf in Mega Man X. Like in this game he's called Treble, and in Mega Man 7 he's called Treble, but he's called Velgader in Mega Man X. But it's the same like character model. I guess I just thought like, oh, this wolf robot looks too cool to waste on these 2 games that I'm assuming most people didn't play, especially this one since it didn't come out in the States until Game Boy Advance. But yeah, like this part where these jumps are, yeah, see there's that downward shot. This part where the jumps are really hard with Mega Man because you have the wind pushing you. Doesn't really matter with Bass because he can double jump. So here I am going into the first boss fight. There it is. Proto Man. That's far enough, King. First Dr. Wily's blah blah. I've obtained all the blueprints on robots. For this I'm able to assemble an invincible Mega Man army. Since you're a robot, you can join me. Huh? It looks like some other little wannabe has come to try and join us. I guess I'll just leave you two. You ain't going anywhere, King. And off, you annoying little pest. I don't know why I was like skipping through these so fast. I apologize, guys. If you care about the story of this game, it's nothing particularly good. I don't actually know if the ending of this game switches when you play with Bass, because again, there's only room for one of strongest in this world. So basically the premise is like Bass is still a bad guy, and he doesn't want King to build an army because he wants to be like the baddest robot in the lands. So I'm assuming that the ending will have like a slight difference if you play as Bass, since Bass is technically a bad guy. The only thing I can say that I give credit to Bass for is that I like that it set the like tone for later games where you can play as Zero, which generally ends up being a cooler character to play as than Mega Man. Well, here's the other thing. Like, we can see Bass has this rapid fire, which isn't really helping me out here. Now that I've figured out that I can like double jump shoot, it's much better. But for some of these regular bad guys that are like bullet sponges, this is way more useful than Mega Man's charge-up shot. For bosses, not so much. I kind of feel like the stages were easier with Bass, and then the bosses were easier with Mega Man. So there you can see my completed Mega Man file saved with Bass. I may eventually go back to this game and try to beat it with Bass just for the heck of it, but maybe when I've forgotten how much I disliked this game. You know, I say that, but like, it wasn't the worst game in the world, but it's far from the best Mega Man game that I've played. The original Mega Man 1 is definitely a harder game, and probably frustrated me more than this one. But yeah, just from how slow paced this is, and that you guys have already seen this stuff. Although some of these levels maybe you didn't see. I remember some of my videos ended up getting cut for Mega Man, but it happens. One thing that Bass can't do that is a disadvantage to him is he can't slide, which you kind of get like used to when you play as Mega Man. And unfortunately that is not an option with him. I don't know why for like there, I couldn't go through that part because I can't slide under it. I don't know why they decided to give Bass these like giant wing things. Like, did anyone think those looked cool? I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be like bat wings or something? I don't know. The extra men for him definitely look cooler though. This part, I think I actually got knocked into the spikes once this part. No, I didn't know. That must have been with Mega Man that I was thinking of. You can see that the CDs that I got, I don't know if they either are gone because I'm like continuing in the same game, or if they're just taken out of the game because Bass can't slide. And I don't know if the CDs you get with Bass, if they count towards the CDs you got with Mega Man. So like this part is a little bit harder because I couldn't slide, but I realized, maybe partway through this video, that I could dash. I didn't realize that he had that ability. It's more similar to the dash that you'd have in like Mega Man X. I think I do it at this part. We'll see. But you can see even with Bass, like some of these guys are still just bullet sponges. Kind of annoying. Yeah, I should be dashing under this guy, but I think at this point I didn't realize that I could dash. I believe it's one of the shoulder buttons. A little bit of a choppy scene edit there. I think I died at this part. Up here. I think he got hit while I was standing on that ice there. Yeah, so shooting diagonally, huge advantage. I remembered from last time that there's like an item down here. So I came down. There was a CD there for Mega Man. Again, I don't know if the CDs you collect as Mega Man cancel out the ones for Bass, but I came down here mainly for that extra man that I remember being there. But if you go back to the video, remember how hard it was for me to jump through that part with Mega Man? Look at how easy it was for Bass because of like the broken mechanics of it. So. These penguins that spin around on their asses. Pretty easy stuff. This is another part that, like, when Mega Man was quite difficult because you kind of had to time your jumps just right to try to land on top of these things. But with Bass, it doesn't matter because I can just double jump over it. So I kind of feel like playing with Mega Man was like hard mode in this game. I kind of wish that I had just gone through it with Bass. It would have saved myself a lot of time and heartache. I got really far behind on my games because of this game. So yeah, you're going to see me fight against this first Robot Master and see how easy this is compared to with Mega Man. Remember when I was playing this with Mega Man, the first time I didn't have the item that made it so that I could charge up my shots faster. So it was a little bit harder to hit the floating guy that this guy's going to summon in a little bit here. It was also a little bit harder to dodge those ice walls because you had to time the jump just right with Mega Man, whereas with Bass you can just kind of be sloppy because you can jump over them. I don't know if they did that like as an intentional like, oh, this is the hard mode, this is the easy mode, or if it was just they were tampering around with or fiddling around with different moves and happened to give a bunch of them to Bass that ended up making him like brokenly easy. But that's that move that he barely did when I was Mega Man. I'm not sure what triggers that move, but once he gets down to halfway, he'll start summoning that guy. And you'll see in a second here. Yeah, so see, like, with Mega Man, it was really hard to hit that guy because you had to wait for him to get low enough, and if you missed him, then you had to recharge your shot, which took forever in the beginning of the game. But with Bass, it's pretty easy because you can just aim up and hit him. I'm not sure why they chose to do that. That nearly killed me there. Going through. Again, I apologize. This game gets so repetitive with stuff like that. So I'll use this time to say my final thoughts about like the kind of the closing of the old school Mega Man games, right? So we've seen the progression from Mega Man 1 up through Mega Man and Bass, and I will say that like there have been some cool things along the way. Like some of them were definitely more fun than others. Mega Man 2 was fun just because it was so easy. A few of the other Mega Mans along the way, but I definitely found that like once Mega Man got towards Mega Man 7, it started losing its way. Mega Man 6 had some cool stuff, Rocket Pack, stuff like that. Definitely pushed the NES towards its limits of what it was able to do. But once they hit Mega Man 7, it kind of felt like they didn't really know where to take the franchise. Like new and exciting stuff were happening on the Super Nintendo, and they were trying to move Mega Man into the next generation while hanging on to what made Mega Man, and I just feel like it didn't really work. It plays really slowly, the jumping isn't great, the mechanics for Bass aren't great, stuff like that. Mega Man 8 is another example of this. Mega Man 8 plays a lot slower, and it's kind of like the forgotten game. I feel like I'm not alone in being one of those people that didn't really get to play Mega Man 8. I played it well after I played the X series. I was already an adult. It was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago when I started the an event that I did, or not event, but like a challenge I did with my brother to get through 52 games in 1 year, and Mega Man 8 was one of the ones that I threw in on that list. That's the first time I played it, like already in my 30s. The Mega Man X series kind of took all of the things that were best about Mega Man and revitalized them and made it fresh and new. Things felt fast but not too fast. The challenge level was just right. They added some hunting stuff that instead of stupid CDs, it was like actual power-ups for Mega Man, which was awesome, and did a lot of stuff that kind of breathed new life into the series. You can kind of see that Mega Man is trying to do, or Capcom is trying to do what they can in this game to make Mega Man relevant for the Super Nintendo and eventually PlayStation era, but it feels like it falls short, which is a shame because it could have been something great like Mega Man X, but I just feel like it just missed it. There's just so many small things about this game that rub me the wrong way. So like I said, I'll probably post after the credits some of that, and by credits I mean ending theme song, some of that gameplay of Bass using the Rocket Pack, just so you guys can see what it looks like. But I'm not going to bore you with another video of Mega Man and Bass. I think you guys have seen enough of it at this point. Up next is Mega Man 8, and then as soon as I finish that one, I'll make my way into Mega Man 9 and 10, which, like I said, were kind of remakes of the old classic 8-bit NES style, which is pretty cool. I've played 9. I vaguely remember enjoying it. Never played 10, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, this has been Jonathan for the Blue Wizard Project. Thank you so much for following along. Please remember to like and subscribe. Follow along with us on Facebook and Twitch if you want to watch us live stream on Twitch. That's where you would catch us. All of that information is down below. Please remember to give if you can. Please remember to tell a friend about the Blue Wizard Project. Thank you guys so much. This is Jonathan for the Blue Wizard Project. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.